Hey guys, this is Angelo. Today we're tackling how to get rid of sugar and carb cravings if you're just starting out on the ketogenic diet, and how to get rid of cravings for sweets that are keto friendly, which can still cause problems for many people. Let's get into sugar and carb cravings first. When you're starting out on keto and your goal is to be successful and to get into ketosis, you need to cut out all sugars and most carbohydrates completely. That includes most fruits as well, and I know that's hard to understand for many people. The truth is, most fruits, especially the sweeter ones, are basically just sugary water with little fiber and vitamins. Some people in the keto community like to call them nature's candy, and I agree. Just to name an example, a large apple has 26 grams of net carbs, out of which 23 grams are just sugar. And I still believe that the cold turkey approach to keto is the best way to get started and much better than to gradually lower your carbs from your previous high carb diet. Otherwise, you risk ending in what I like to call the in-between zone, where you're not running on fat or getting into ketosis, and you also feel out of energy because you reduce your other energy source, carbohydrates. When some people say they tried keto, but they felt weak and tired so it didn't work out for them, oftentimes they didn't reduce their carbs enough. They kept their carbs low, but not low enough, for example at 50 grams per day. The problem is, that way their body kept utilizing glucose first for energy, which is what always happens whenever that's available, and as soon as their glycogen stores started emptying, they started to feel a little bit tired, they would just refill them again by eating a similar amount of carbs the next day. So here's what I recommend instead. Keep your net carbs under 20 grams per day for several weeks to give your body the time it needs to properly adapt and get better at using fatty acids and ketones for fuel. By doing carb-ups and by allowing yourself some carbs here and there, you keep going through carb withdrawal. And don't forget, sugar acts like a drug in your brain. And you keep the cravings going and you might experience something like a keto flu over and over again. You need to give it some time. Those cravings will go away. Trust me, just don't give in right away. And if you're not feeling that great when starting out, it's very likely you need to replenish your electrolytes. You don't need a carb up. Okay, what if you've been successfully doing keto for several months already, and you're not really craving for sugar or carbohydrates, but just for something sweet in general? Let's start this off by mentioning that we even struggle with this ourselves sometimes. But just to be clear on what I mean, we never actually crave sugary sweets or carbohydrates. We just know how awesome our own keto desserts taste, and so we start craving those. This tends to happen when we make a bigger portion of homemade keto desserts, like chocolate chip cookies, avocado chocolate pudding, ginger snap cookies, or cheesecake, and we have some for a couple of meals in a row as dessert. We make these only using keto-friendly ingredients, but the fact that they're sweetened and we use a mix of stevia and erythritol means that not only is it hard to stop eating them after a reasonable amount, but also that we crave that sweet taste again to finish off our next meal. And this can turn into a vicious cycle, especially if you're trying to lose weight. You shouldn't forget that even though you're probably using high quality nutritious ingredients like almond or coconut flour, coconut milk, coconut oil, butter, or cacao powder, those same ingredients are also high in calories, and those can add up as well. And maybe you're planning to just eat one little mini cheesecake in the beginning, but then you end up eating 2 or 3 until you realize how full you actually are and how much you consumed. And the keto sweetener you're using, even though it doesn't spike blood sugar or insulin by itself, makes you overeat and makes you crave for something sweet again the next time. We even notice a similar effect when we just have a small quantity of raspberries as dessert a couple of days in a row. So that's definitely an area where you need to pay attention, as you can quickly build a bad habit where you feel like you need something sweet after every single meal, which is unlikely to help you reach your goals. Since Jofi and I were also struggling with this recently, after bringing our homemade keto desserts everywhere over the holidays and overindulging in them ourselves, we decided to just do a simple 7-day no dessert challenge. We simply set it up as an all-day calendar entry, and we're currently on day 6 out of 7. We stopped craving for something sweet after around day 2, and I'm glad we decided to do it, as we also sometimes need to hit the reset button. So that, for example, is something that you could try for yourself if you feel that you sometimes struggle with this. Just do a simple 7-day no dessert challenge, or just choose one day a week where you allow yourself to experiment with keto-friendly desserts. Okay, that's it for today. Are any of you struggling with sugar, carb, or keto dessert cravings, or have you had a hard time fighting those urges in the past, we would love to know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe if you want to see more in the future. See you soon. Bye.